Behold, in the face of a catastrophic epidemic that decimated parts of Europe, a beacon of hope emerged. The Mother of Jesus, who never sleeps and carries our prayers to her Son, appeared as a sign of light and hope amidst the devastation, receiving the title of Our Lady of Health. Today's curiosities are about Our Lady of Health. Here are 9 curiosities about her. 9. Introduction to Marian Devotion. Marian Devotion, which refers to the veneration and religious devotion to the Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, is a practice deeply rooted in Catholic tradition and many other Christian denominations. Over the centuries, Mary has been honored with a variety of titles and designations that reflect different aspects of her nature and role in Christian faith. Among these titles is Our Lady of Health, which stands out as a specific expression of Marian devotion. This title originated in the 16th century in Portugal, a period marked by various adversities, including pandemics like the Black Plague, which ravaged not only Portugal but all of Europe. Our Lady of Health emerged as a figure of hope and intercession during these dark times. Her miraculous origin is associated with reports of divine intervention in moments of public health crises. In particular, during the Black Plague epidemic in Portugal in 1569, the population faced a devastating situation with overwhelmed hospitals and a high mortality rate. In this desperate context, people turned to the Virgin Mary for help and protection. Through fervent prayers and processions, the population implored for her divine intercession to contain the epidemic and heal the sick. The miracle associated with the discovery of an image of the Virgin Mary, known as Our Lady of Health, in a grave in Sacavém, is a striking example from this period. From this miraculous event, devotion to Our Lady of Health was established and spread, not only in Portugal but also in other regions of Europe and beyond. The image of the Virgin Mary as the protector of physical and spiritual health became a symbol of hope and comfort for the faithful, especially during periods of illness and affliction. Thus, the story of Our Lady of Health is a testimony to profound Marian devotion and belief in divine intercession in times of difficulty and suffering. Her title reflects not only the quest for physical healing but also the trust in spiritual protection and the power of faith to overcome life's challenges. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, subscribe so you don't miss any curiosities. 8. Historical context. The 16th century was a period marked by great challenges and changes in Europe, and the rise of devotion to Our Lady of Health is intrinsically linked to this historical context. During this time, Europe faced numerous adversities, including religious conflicts, wars, famines, and, particularly relevant to the rise of this devotion, the devastating Black Plague. The Black Plague, a highly contagious disease caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis and transmitted mainly by fleas on rats, had a catastrophic impact on the European population. Between 1347 and 1351, the Black Plague decimated a significant proportion of the European population, resulting in millions of deaths and leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. However, even after the end of the first great pandemic of plague, recurring outbreaks of the disease continued to afflict Europe in the following centuries, including the 16th century. Portugal was not spared from this scourge, and during the 16th century, the country faced periodic outbreaks of plague that ravaged its cities and communities. It was in this scenario of despair and suffering that devotion to Our Lady of Health arose. The Portuguese, faced with the terrible threat posed by the plague, sought refuge and solace in religious faith, turning to the Virgin Mary for protection and divine intercession. The devotion to Our Lady of Health, therefore, emerged as an expression of hope and trust in supernatural intervention amidst adversity and disease. The reports of miracles and divine interventions associated with the devotion to Our Lady of Health, such as the miraculous discovery of an image of the Virgin Mary during a plague outbreak in Sacavém, contributed to strengthening and spreading this devotion among the Portuguese and beyond their borders. Thus, the emergence of devotion to Our Lady of Health in the 16th century is deeply rooted in the historical context of the time, reflecting the beliefs, fears, and hopes of people who faced the challenges and tragedies of the Black Plague and other epidemic diseases. Leave your prayer request here in the comments so that Our Lady of Health may intercede for it before her Son. 7. The despair in Portugal. In the year 1569, Portugal found itself in the midst of a devastating crisis due to the Black Plague epidemic. This highly contagious disease, which ravaged Europe over the centuries, was causing significant havoc in the Portuguese population. Hospitals were overcrowded, medical resources were scarce, and the mortality rate was alarming, with about 600 people dying each day. The King of Portugal at the time, Dom Sebastião, confronted with this calamitous situation, was desperate for a solution to contain the spread of the epidemic and save lives. Given the severity of the situation, he took a crucial step. He requested medical help from neighboring Spain, hoping to obtain additional assistance and resources to deal with the crisis. This request for medical help from Spain demonstrates the gravity of the situation in Portugal and the magnitude of the crisis faced by the population. King Dom Sebastião was aware that the medical resources and knowledge available in Portugal were not sufficient to face the magnitude of the epidemic, and that international collaboration was necessary to effectively combat the spread of the disease and save lives. The despair in Portugal in the face of the Black Plague was evident not only in the actions of the king but also in the response of the population, who faced a situation of fear, suffering, and loss. Overcrowded hospitals, entire families being decimated, and a widespread sense of helplessness and hopelessness permeated the country. In this context of despair and anguish, devotion to Our Lady of Health emerged as a source of hope and comfort for the Portuguese. The quest for divine intercession and protection from the Virgin Mary was a manifestation of faith and the need to find comfort and hope amidst tragedy and adversity. 6. The Miracle of Sacavém. The Miracle of Sacavém is one of the most significant events associated with the devotion to Our Lady of Health during the Black Plague epidemic in Portugal in the 16th century. During this desperate period, people turned to their faith in search of protection and healing, organizing processions and fervent prayers amidst the devastation caused by the disease. It was during one of these processions and desperate prayers that the miracle in Sacavém occurred. In a moment of profound despair, while gravediggers were digging graves to bury the plague victims, an image of the Virgin Mary was found in a grave. This image, later recognized as Our Lady of Health, was seen as a divine sign and interpreted as a miracle by the population. The discovery of the Virgin Mary's image amid the chaos and tragedy of the epidemic was perceived as a divine intervention and a sign of hope in dark times. The news of the miracle spread rapidly, and prayers and devotion to Our Lady of Health intensified even more. As a result of this increased devotion and prayers, a remarkable phenomenon occurred. The following year, deaths from the plague began to gradually decrease until they completely ceased on April 20, 1570. This outcome was interpreted as a divine response to the people's prayers and as a confirmation of the power and intercession of Our Lady of Health. The Miracle of Sacavém became a focal point of devotion to Our Lady of Health in Portugal, strengthening the faith of the people and inspiring continuous devotion to the Virgin Mary as a protector of health and an intercessor in times of illness and affliction. The image found in that grave in Sacavém became a symbol of hope and comfort for the Portuguese, and April 20th was consecrated as the day to commemorate the miracle that ended the terrible Black Plague epidemic. 5. Gratitude and continuous devotion. In recognition of the miracle that occurred during the Black Plague epidemic and in gratitude for the divine intercession, a grand procession was held in Portugal. In this event, Mary, the mother of Jesus, was venerated and honored with the title of Our Lady of Health. This title reflected the belief in the protection and healing she provided during that period of crisis and suffering. Since then, April 20th has been celebrated as the Day of Our Lady of Health in Portugal. On this date, the faithful gather in churches and shrines dedicated to her to pay homage, pray, and participate in religious ceremonies in her honor. It is a moment of reflection on the miracle that occurred and an expression of gratitude for Mary's intercession in times of need. In Brazil, the devotion to Our Lady of Health is also observed but with a different celebration date. Here, her day is celebrated on August 15th. This date marks the day when the image of Our Lady of Health was brought from Portugal to Brazil, probably by Portuguese colonizers or missionaries, thus establishing the devotion to her in this country. Thus, both in Portugal and Brazil, the devotion to Our Lady of Health continues to be an important part of religious practice, representing trust in divine protection, Mary's intercession, and gratitude for the miracles received. This devotion remains alive and active, with the faithful seeking spiritual comfort and physical healing through the veneration of Our Lady of Health. 4. Symbolism of the image. The image of Our Lady of Health is rich in symbolism, with each detail carrying deep meanings that reflect the faith and devotion of the faithful. Two of the most prominent elements in this image are the chalice and the child Jesus in Mary's arms. The chalice that Our Lady of Health holds in her hands is a powerful symbol representing science and medicine. This chalice is often associated with healing and health, suggesting the pursuit of knowledge and treatment to alleviate human suffering. It symbolizes hope and trust in the abilities of health professionals and the search for solutions to diseases and ailments. On the other hand, the child Jesus in Mary's arms is a symbol of divinity and the ultimate source of healing and salvation. Jesus is often portrayed as the physician of physicians, the one who has the power to heal both body and soul. His presence in Mary's arms indicates that true healing comes from God and that Mary, as the mother of Jesus, is a powerful intercessor who can bring the faithful supplications to him. Therefore, the image of Our Lady of Health conveys a message of hope, faith, and trust. It reminds the faithful of the importance of seeking physical and spiritual healing while emphasizing the need to trust in God as the ultimate source of cure and protection. These symbolic elements make the image of Our Lady of Health an object of devotion and inspiration for many faithful, who seek her intercession in times of illness and affliction. 3. Meaning of the attributes. The attributes present in the image of Our Lady of Health carry profound symbolic meaning, offering the faithful a deeper understanding of the faith and devotion associated with this Marian representation. The blue mantle that envelopes Our Lady of Health symbolizes the sky and divine intervention in health. Blue, commonly associated with the sky and divinity, suggests the presence of God as a source of protection and healing. It represents heavenly hope and the promise of salvation and spiritual comfort for those who seek Mary's intercession in their health needs. Conversely, the red tunic that Mary wears in the image represents the blood of Christ and his wounds through which we are healed. Red is often associated with sacrifice and the passion of Christ, symbolizing divine love and the redemptive sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. The wounds of Christ, caused by the nails and the lance during his crucifixion, are considered sources of spiritual and physical healing for the faithful, who believe that faith in Christ can bring forgiveness, healing, and redemption. 2. Devotion and prayers. The devotion to Our Lady of Health is a practice deeply rooted in Catholic faith, where the faithful turn to Mary's intercession in search of protection, comfort, and healing. This devotion manifests in various forms, with processions and prayers being some of the most common and significant. During processions dedicated to Our Lady of Health, the faithful gather in the community to express their devotion and faith. Carrying images of her and other religious representations, participants walk through the streets, often visiting churches or sacred sites associated with Marian devotion. These processions are moments of communion and spiritual fervor, where the faithful seek the protection and intercession of Our Lady of Health in their lives. In addition to processions, prayers play a central role in the devotion to Our Lady of Health. The faithful turn to prayer as a way to connect with the divine and express their needs and hopes before God and Mary. They ask for protection from dangers, comfort for the afflicted, and physical and spiritual health for themselves and their loved ones. These prayers can be conducted individually, in moments of reflection and spiritual intimacy, or in community, during liturgical celebrations or special events dedicated to Marian devotion. Regardless of the form, the prayers directed to Our Lady of Health are an expression of trust in divine intercession and the belief that Mary, as the mother of Jesus, is a powerful protector and intercessor for the faithful in their most urgent needs. 1. Impact on health. The devotion to Our Lady of Health transcends the spiritual realm and has a significant impact on public health, inspiring and assisting health professionals in their missions to care for the community's health, especially in times of epidemics and public health challenges. Throughout history, in moments of epidemics and health crises, the devotion to Our Lady of Health has been a source of hope and inspiration for health professionals and the general population. Faith in Mary's divine intercession as a protector of health motivates health professionals to redouble their efforts in seeking solutions to the health challenges they face, inspiring them to work with dedication and compassion for the well-being of the community. Moreover, devotion to Our Lady of Health can provide spiritual and emotional comfort to people affected by diseases and epidemics, strengthening their resilience and capacity to face health challenges with hope and confidence. The prayers and processions dedicated to Our Lady of Health offer a space of communion and solidarity, where the faithful can unite in prayer and mutual support in difficult times. Additionally, the devotion to Our Lady of Health can also play a role in promoting mental and emotional health, providing a source of solace and relief for those facing physical and emotional illnesses. Belief in Mary's intercession as a protector of health can strengthen people's hope and resilience, helping them face health challenges with a positive and determined attitude. And we have reached the end of another story. Don't forget to leave in the comments which saint you would like to see featured on our channel. And we'll see you in the next story.